This chapter is all about transitions. These are effects that you put between clips to let you move from one clip to the next, or you can put transitions at the beginning or the end of a clip to, let's say, fade up to one or fade out from one. I'm going to cover transitions in great detail in the upcoming lessons, but I want to start off by explaining the differences between how transitions look and behave in the CS6 version of Premiere Pro versus the Creative Cloud version of Premiere Pro. I'm doing this because all of the lessons in this chapter were recorded using the CS6 version of Premiere Pro, and you presumably are working in the Creative Cloud version of Premiere Pro, and there will be some differences, and I want to make sure you're not thrown off by the differences. So let's take a look at the CS6 version over here. I'm going to start by adding a couple of transitions to these two clips here. To go to transitions, I go over here to Effects, go down to Video Transitions, and go down to Dissolve. I'm going to add a cross dissolve here to the beginning and the end and the middle. Just drag it over to the beginning, to the middle, and the end. And you see there are little purple rectangles there in the upper left-hand or right-hand corner of each of those clips. Let's go over here and do the same thing to this side. I go over here, over to Effects, go down to Video Transitions, Dissolve, Cross Dissolve, Beginning, and Middle, and End. Right off the bat, you see there are differences. Here there are purple rectangles in the corners. Here there are brown rectangles kind of in the middle of the clip on the sides of the clip. And those little differences are actually important. They make life easier here in the Creative Cloud side of things. Let's go over here and expand the view a bit. I'll click over here and press the plus key a couple of times. And here we've got this transition here. If I want to select it, I click on it like this. That selects it, opens it up in the Effect Controls panel, which is the normal way of doing things. If I want to change the duration of it, I can change it up here, but I can also do it down here by hovering my cursor over that side of it and seeing that little icon there with the transition in the middle. That little trim icon, and just dragging it like that, I can expand the length of the transition that way. Let's go down here to the middle, do the same thing. I can go either end here, this side, or this side like so, to change the length individually like that. Go down to the end here, do the same thing. I just drag it left to right, that changes the length. Let me zoom out a bit, and now I'm going to try to select this one so I can see it here in the Effect Controls panel. I'll click away for a moment here. Now I'm going to try to select this guy, and notice that I really am having a hard time getting my arrow key to appear there. Right about there I can finally do it. It's a little tricky to do it. I'm pointing that out because it's easier to do that in the Creative Cloud side of things. So I'm going to go over here and make this active, hover over the end there, and look how easy it is to select it here. I can click on it, and I've selected it right there, even though I haven't zoomed in at all. So it is easier to select them over here. Let me zoom in a bit just to show you a couple of the differences here. See how they're in the middle of the clip here on the side. Makes it easier to find that trim tool because it's right in the center of the clip rather than at the top. So you can drag it this way. It's the same trim tool though, same process. Over here a little bit toward the middle. Kind of hard to find the middle, but there it is. Here when I drag it, it's going to go equal both left and right because this is centered on that edit point. Behaves a little differently over here. Go to the right a little bit farther. Same routine here. It's easy to select this because the rectangle in the middle there. So the differences are the color. You see that it's brown, turns gray when you select it like that. Over here it's purple and turns green when you select it. Here the controlling is from the inside of the clip rather than the corner here. It's a little bit easier to select it over here. So those are the main differences. Just keep in mind that as you go through the lessons here on transitions, I recorded them in the CS6 version, so you'll see these little purple guys that turn green when you click on them, as opposed to these kind of brown things that turn gray when you click on them. But the behavior is basically the same from that point on.